gotta say, though, pool club sounds disgusting.
No, no, you're not wrong.
Welcome to Court Captain's Volleyball Podcast.
Where we talk all things Pro Volleyball Federation.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Ian, and this week we're talking a lot of drama and a little volleyball.
Just a little bit of volleyball.
Drama's more interesting anyway, right?
Yeah, sure.
No, it really is. It always is. I guess we start with some drama. Is that what we do?
Yeah. Tea first,
hook
then
'em
the
in.
volleyball.
So in pure, this is what happens when you record fashion. We recorded that podcast last week talking about Adora getting waived. And we're like, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. And then that night that we recorded, I think, or maybe the day after, she got picked up by Vegas, which we've all seen. We've all talked about it on the internet. There's a lot
Everyone.
of speculation. We don't know what's going on. We reached out, like the journalists we are, to the Orlando organization requesting official comment, and we did not receive any official comment.
You've been ghosted.
They didn't reply to our email,
They chose not to respond.
and we'll let you know if they do, but
They could not be reached for comment.
they could. Thank you. Gosh, why didn't I say that?
That's the phrase.
They could not be reached. We attempted to reach them.
Indeed.
So there's word on the street. There's sources that say that something happened, and then Adora was put on probation, and then she left. She was released by the organization.
Waived, some would say.
Waived, some would say. But I just mean, like, with waiving,
Yeah.
a lot of times we don't know exactly which direction it is.
Yeah.
Usually it's the team waving, but sometimes, I mean, waving goodbye, even, if you will.
Yeah.
But sometimes, we've heard like, oh, so and so asked them to be released from their contract, so it was one of those things. That's not our understanding of what occurred. The team said bye, and I'm really glad that she landed in Vegas. I think that although they are very much operating with a different winning percentage than Orlando right now, I think that Adora has a lot of family in Vegas. That's what I've seen from the internet. And so I'm hoping that, or at least nearby. I don't know. She went to college in Utah, so maybe they're just all driving over. But regardless, I'm hoping that it's a better situation for her. But I guess I'm just like kind of annoyed,
Mm.
you could say.
It's pretty baffling.
Nikki doesn't like change, you know?
I don't think that's it.
It's making her uncomfortable.
No, here's what I don't like. This is a key starter and an all-star after half of a season of very solid performances. And then we talked about this. She didn't hit well I looked back at the stats. It was 3 matches that she didn't hit well. And what ends up happening here is that in this league, we have a big bonus for the champions. And as a key playoff contender, Orlando just virtually eliminated Adora's chances of any part of that prize because Vegas is who can pick her up, and they're I don't think they're like mathematically for sure out of the playoffs, but it's an uphill battle. And it's just before the trade deadline, so you can sign 3 rookies, Amy. It feels really bad to me. But I guess we don't know what happened.
Nobody
But
knows.
there's no acknowledgement at all. Even a cookie cutter bullshit statement. They think that they can just, not to us, to everybody.
Yeah. Is it like standard in other sports to do that, to have like a press release on a major?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, I guess just like because there would be a bunch of people asking, so they don't have to answer everyone's questions. But
Yeah.
I guess in this instance, it's easier probably just to not answer anyone's question because
Yeah. Because it's,
there's
Well,
like,
hey.
yeah, 12.
My point is just that, like, That's why I figured we weren't going to hear back, but that's why I asked because it's like this tiny little bit of can we try to keep somebody accountable?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that that's very fair to fire someone who helped you get to where you are and say nothing about it.
We've talked about Adora a lot on the show, so it's also just interesting. You want to know?
Yeah.
Well, this is the first step toward Orlando getting on my shit list this week,
My God.
Uh-oh.
but
What?
we'll get there. We'll get
Their
there.
own employee turning their own media mouthpiece, Nikki.
Now
Yeah.
okay.
No,
Nikki is
I'm
not
turning
employed by
on them.
Orlando.
I'm not employed by
That
Orlando,
was a joke by
Oh yeah, it
Ian.
was a psych.
and they're glad I'm not. Because if I was, I'd be stirring up some shit. Okay, higher on my shit list, however, this week
Yep.
is the Vegas coaching staff.
Oh boy.
Okay. Let's
So,
hear it.
Adora goes to Vegas, right?
Yep.
Clearly, she can't catch a break because she is on television as her face, is on television as a starter for the game against Grand Rapids. And then we look at the court at the beginning of the game. She's not on the court. And there's a lot of discussion in whatever chat that I was in. Where's Adora? It said she was starting. She's not starting. What's going on? That's Charity instead of Adora. What's happening? And we had some boots on the ground, and they said at the beginning of the match, refs called up the court captains and they talked to Alicia intently. And Alicia looked mad.
Oh boy.
And then Alicia had to go back to the coaches, and then Adora went off the court. It was supposed to be Hannah and Adora. Adora walks off, Charity comes on. Charity gets hurt. Now they got to go to Allison Mayfield, right? But like, it was just they needed her. They wanted to play her.
Yeah.
They needed to.
Yeah.
Was she just like not registered?
Let me tell you what happened. Per the Grand Rapids PR email
Grand
post
Rapids
match.
PR email.
Yeah, because we're on that email list because we
Okay.
have
Oh,
been
right.
in that media presser
Yes.
before.
Yes,
So
So
Grand
we're
Rapids was
getting
like, we've never
I
seen
get it.
that woman before in our lives. Get her out of here.
I get an email notification so
the
often from
yeah.
Rise PR.
Rise PR is sending us stuff all the time. And right now we got exactly what we were looking for. So thank you, y'all. The thrill
Maybe
were
we should ask
also
them about the Adora thing. Should we just email them about it?
just
They
let
seem
them know.
incredibly responsive.
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe.
a good idea. So here's the one sentence in the third paragraph. The Thrill were also without new addition Adora Anae, who was scheduled to start but was ruled ineligible to play because she didn't have the correct jersey number.
Damn.
And that's not Adora's fault because they hadn't had time to make her custom jersey yet. So they did what you'll see a lot of new players who join the team across the league do is they wear the number 99 and it doesn't have their last name on it.
Yeah.
But these Vegas coaches input her as 14
Oh
Not
my
99.
God.
to the official lineup. And listen, I don't want to shit talk too much,
That's funny.
but you all are professionals and you put the lineup in wrong. I do that with my 12-year-old sometimes and I'm embarrassed. What the hell?
That's sweet.
Guys, I'm
Well,
so mad.
luckily it didn't hurt them at all. They just lost in a sweep.
In the biggest possible, I think it was the worst beating points wise in
Yeah.
any match in PVF
In a bit.
history. Which, like, yeah, 25-17, 25-16, 25-17.
It's just, we can't be there's no room for self-inflicted wounds at this portion of the season for Vegas, and yeah, that doesn't look great.
Poor Adora.
Poor Adora.
Anyway,
Yeah, so it was the official roster, so they couldn't change it.
That's correct.
Yeah. Maybe just like wait until everyone has their jersey on and double check
Ugh,
it and then
I'm mad
submit.
about it. I'm
that's
mad about
annoying.
it.
It's annoying.
I guess like I just I want them to be better. So
Yeah,
that's my request.
I think the title of this podcast episode is just be better.
Please be
Mm.
better.
Holding PVF accountable.
Doing my best. Okay. The last big transactions thing that we talked about, Shime, Naya Shime, not
Yeah.
on the Grand Rapids roster anymore and no longer present at things.
Mysteriously left after the transit off of the transaction page.
No,
Very
nothing on the
strange.
transactions either. We had friends, email, PVF, PR. The PVF PR person says Naya Shimei left for personal reasons and the nature of her departure did not require a transaction.
Did not require.
So I guess
Well,
they just make up whatever they fucking feel like
so
now.
now we have the fun job of looking through all the transaction definitions and to find the possible definition that doesn't exist in the list.
Which is just no news.
Just
But like, so they didn't release her?
Right. That's
Is she like
right.
still under contract?
So she
She's
must,
just
I
like,
mean, she has to be still under contract.
but they have the roster spot open?
No,
yeah.
they filled the roster spot
So
with
yeah,
Right. So
but
Devin.
like
her spot
yeah,
is yeah, like available to be filled by another player, but she's still under contract.
Like no other team can get her.
because she's just done.
She just
I
walked
think we
away.
would,
She's
yeah,
done.
There's just no
retire. I mean, retired.
scenario
There's no retired
or
designation.
Yeah.
exempt. The player did
Yeah,
not
commissioner's
report
exempt list.
or just like released, waived. What are we doing?
Yeah, there
Well,
doesn't
she
seem to be a gap in those definitions of roster things where like there would be something. It seems like if she's not with the team, it would indeed fall into one of those categories.
Yeah. I just like they just make up what are they just making up whatever they feel like? I try to be so supportive. I yell at other people on the internet for being haters, but I'm feeling like a hater because this week
Mm,
was full of shit.
yeah.
I'm
A
mad.
week of butt,
a
A,
week of butt.
a week of it. Why
which
do you
again
guys
would be
do this to
another
us?
another good episode title, but we've made a rule where we don't put butt in the title
Well,
We
because we're
gotta
are
not
you
that
make
kind
that
of
gonna
rule.
podcast.
we made a rule. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
We put in time week after week supporting this.
it just seems like there's pretty easy answers available that people are like unnecessarily coy about.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, was she fucking abducted by aliens? What do you
It's
mean it
like
doesn't require a designation? I don't understand
Under what
why does
circumstances?
anything require are these designations required? Are
And
any of
like,
these designations required at all? Or are we just kind of are they just doing this to help us out?
that's
yep,
the
I
conspiracy
can.
theory.
Yeah.
She
Did
actually
it
got
happen to be
abducted
in
by
Vegas?
aliens and the
Yeah.
PBF is trying to cover it up.
Okay, I have three more quick pieces of tea.
All right. I'm
Sick.
ready.
I don't know if
I'm
this
sat.
Okay. A source close to us and close to Omaha let us know that Brooke Nunaviller has been seen very recently having dinner with Danny White. So I think the PVF can say goodbye to Brooke Nunaviller, unfortunately,
You
after
heard
this
it here
season.
first.
I just really don't think he's going to give her so much money. And
Yeah.
I can't remember if we've said his name expressly on this podcast before, but that is the Omaha Supernovas owner who is creating Major League Volleyball, allegedly.
Allegedly. Have we heard anything
No,
since?
there has been not a whisper of social media activity.
They have you know what? They have two teams.
They have
Well,
two
So
teams.
they can just
they're
play each
underground.
other.
They can play each other all season.
Fomenting revolution.
I think whatever garbage they're setting up, Brooke Nunaviller will crush
Yeah, you'd have to imagine
in that league as well. That's
they wanna
what I
take
think
her.
is happening. I
Yeah.
mean, unless she's just keeping things acceptable for the rest of her
Yeah. Yeah.
season, right? If your owner invites you to dinner,
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Say no?
are you gonna say no? Like how
This is an
many times can you say no?
power dynamic at
Yeah,
play
it's
Yeah,
here.
interesting
and
if you
I mean, I imagine if the owner of your team is creating a new league, like they probably will be able to offer her more than a
Yeah.
PVF team can offer her. So
Also,
yes.
it is a job. It's networking.
Sure. Maybe
gotta
she's
keep those
networking.
relationships solid.
Yeah.
What do they say about
Volleyball's a small world.
in sales? You got to keep the something warm. Keep them warm. That's what you have to do.
Gotta keep them warm.
Okay, cool. Well, speaking of salaries,
All right. Yes.
this is just like a little bit of internet language. It's like this is like the weakest tea that can exist.
Okay.
But allegedly,
Allegedly.
the salaries of the PVF next year will be getting, quote, significantly larger.
Oh,
I have no idea what significantly means, frankly. I,
enough to keep Brooke around?
I don't know about enough to keep Brooke around. We'll see. And then they may be bringing like a salary cap structure into the picture.
Wh-
Ooh,
What does that mean?
Ian, can you shed some light?
sure. At its most basic, it would give like each team a pool of money that they can spend however they so choose within that pool of money. So if we all had $10 million, we could give out, one $8 million contract to someone and then fill all the other rosters with that last $2 million. Or you could split it up evenly amongst your whole roster, just however you want a team build under that cap.
Interesting. And is this method employed by whom currently? What?
Most of the American leagues
Oh.
have some sort of thing like that. A lot of them have, ways that you can, like, if teams spend over the cap, there are like taxes that'll come in, so you can conceivably spend more money than that cap, but then you get penalized in certain ways. But yeah, it's not really around in like Europe or anything like that where you see in soccer, like, just a couple rich teams can just spend
Yeah.
as much money as they want. But in America, the team owners have decided that they'd rather not compete with each other in that way
Yeah. That makes
and
sense.
keep those salaries down for each other. But it does
Cool.
mean that, like, yeah, instead of like the numbers of salary slots that we've had in the PVF, that it's just more kind of open for them to, the general managers to build their rosters how they want within that cap, which could be cool.
It could be cool. Now, listen, don't hold us to this because we could be wrong.
Yeah, it could not happen at all.
It's so weak, this tea. The person did not indicate any numbers or any confidence. So we'll have to keep our ear out and see if it gets to be more legitimate. The other idea with it being, quote, significantly higher salaries is like, did the PVF get a big sponsor or a
Or a
Mm.
big
TV
media
deal or
deal?
something. Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they eventually end up. Which, I mean, obviously this summer, regardless, there will be a lot of changes.
Talk about changes.
Segue.
Dallas should be coming. That's what we're hearing.
Yep.
We're hearing the Dallas should be coming next year. And friend of the pod loves to do some deep Google diving and located a patent that was live as of a
Eh?
couple weeks ago for the owners, being the Pro Volleyball Federation LLC, for the word mark Dallas Dynamite.
Love it.
An alliteration is very fun.
Yeah, we
It
like
is.
that.
Indy Ignite, Dallas Dynamite.
Yeah, when they come together, it's gonna be explosive, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it, but here's what I need to happen. Their colors have to be green. I won't accept anything else.
Why?
There's
Because
not enough green in this league.
okay. I was wondering
Okay.
what the,
Has to be so like if they can join Vegas and some sort of green branding.
We need forest green.
I'm
the
into that.
good, I agree. A forest green would be nice. Maybe
Yeah.
a purple. I know Omaha is purple, but
What about a
purple?
what about a Kelly green?
A Kelly green.
Could be cool. I
A
mean, what's in
forest
the city?
green.
Like the Cowboys are there. They're like what silver and blue.
If
That's,
we have another
they
blue
got
team,
enough
I will
blues.
riot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I get
basically
them
like
pretty
Valkyrie's
confused.
color.
No more red either. I've had enough of red.
I
No
mean,
more
it's got to
red.
be green. What if
I
it's
do
just
really
like
like how
black?
Indy has the orange.
Orange. Uh-huh. See,
Yeah.
they
It's
checked that
nice.
box for us. I
See,
will
that's what
accept
sucks
purple,
though.
but I do think that that's going to be like, oh, they're trying to be Omaha, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But that's where it feels like dynamite. You're kind of boxing yourself into like some sort
What do
of
you think their icon's gonna
fiery
be?
color.
Just a
Yeah.
stick of dynamite?
That would, a little bomb, a little bundle of dynamite.
I was thinking bundle, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Is that kosher? Are we allowed to do that? Or
no.
is it like, hey, you are dynamite. You're dynamite. So it
Thumbs
is like a
ups.
supernova, like stars.
And Eric and I were talking about this. Do you think that their theme song will be Dynamite by Tayo Cruz or
Hmm.
TNT by AC/DC? Wait, right, that's
This
AC/DC.
is- yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that both are good. I say you get them both. You switch off.
Dynamite. And do you think that maybe they'll go by the dinos and we'll get some
Ooh.
sweet
Yeah.
dinosaur
The
Yeah,
stuff?
see, that's good. Like a
dinos.
crooked, that's the way they do mascots now. Like,
Yeah.
the Flyers and
Mm-hmm.
Gritty and stuff. Like, so you
Yeah.
just get some sort of T-Rex
Yeah.
that is Dino, the Dynamite fan. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Then you can get the green in.
Yep.
All right, well,
Write that down.
we just solved it. Excited to hear more. Okay, that's everything that I have in terms of news that you can use. Are we going to talk about volleyball now?
Let's talk about
I
volleyball.
guess.
We're done with the drama and the tea.
And me being angry. Or are we?
Oh, is she done?
Doubtful. We'll see
Stay
at the
tuned.
end of the pod.
Ian's Corner.
The Scorner. There's only 3 games this week, except there's also one going on currently while we're recording, and it's in the 5th set, which is cool. So maybe we'll talk about that when it's done. But first, Saturday, April 5th, Indy Ignite at Columbus Fury on YouTube. Columbus shows up at home and dropped the Ignite in 4 sets. They won the first 25-21, the second 25-20, lost the third 21-25, and then won the fourth 25-23. Another little weird statistical anomaly game in that Columbus only managed to out-hit Indy in the second set, where they hit 130 to Indy's 60. Other than that, they did not out-hit Indy in any of the sets, although they were close. Struggle for both teams hitting in the first 3 sets, but the last one, the fourth, really good on both sides. Both teams hit over 340, with Raina Terry and Megan Courtney Lush inevitably leading the Fury to a win in the end. Raina Terry's only action was in that last fourth set, but she showed up. She had 5 kills at 7-14 in that set. The Fury were led on the whole match by Megan Courtney Lush. She had 13 kills at 257, and Isabella Rapash matched her with 13 kills, but struggled a bit more. Got blocked 6 times and hit 143 on the match. Teeler led the Ignite on the other side with 16 kills. Still hit 290 despite being blocked 6 times. And then Baird also got a lot of work with 53 swings. She had 50 kills on the night. And Indy finished the week still even with Orlando at 12-9 for those third and fourth spots in the league. All right, also on that Saturday, Orlando at Omaha on VBTV. Orlando fall flat after a really fast start at the beginning of the match, and Omaha took 3 sets in a row to win in 4. They lost the first 14-25, won the second 25-17, close third 25-23, and then a 25-15 fourth set. Something just off with Omaha to start the match. They hit negative in the first set, but they got tired of that and they won the next 3 straight. Led on the night by a huge Brooke Nunneveller game. She hit 304 with 17 kills and passed 83% positive on the day. So that's pretty good, I think. Caitlin Horde also played well, 5 blocks with 3 kills, hitting 300, and Kayla Caffey added 3 aces to her own 5 blocks and 5 kills on the night. Unsurprisingly, Orlando, led by Abercrombie on the night, 17 kills at 234. Kaz Brown also played well, hitting over 300 with 7 kills. And a standout on the night was Nora Sis, who came in during the third set and finished the match with 9 kills, hitting 412, but they struggled elsewhere on the roster. Courtney Schwann and Lindsay Vanderweide both hit under 100. They played well in that third set, the close third one that I talked about, but couldn't get over the hump. Lost the match on the day. After that, Vegas, the Grand Rapids Rise on CBS Sports Network, and it was a blowout. Grand Rapids cruised past the thrill and sweep as they try to chase down that last playoff spot. They won 25-17, 25-16, and 25-17. It was a beatdown. They hit 250 to the Thrill's 57. They were led by Paige Briggs Romine on the night, I believe, Player of the Week. She had 13 kills at 290 on the match. Also had an ace in there for good measure. Carly Snyder also had a good game, hit 360 with 9 kills on the match. But on the other side for the Thrill, it was just a struggle all around. Only 3 players on the roster hit over 100, with the most impressive being Allison Mayfield, who hit 300 with 7 kills. But other than that, pretty hard to find a silver lining in this one, as they are now 4 games out of a playoff spot. And right now, hard to see where they're getting wins.
I just turned it on
Yeah.
and immediately 3 misserves.
Damn.
Across teams, like team A, team B, team
hmm
A.
Merritt Beeson's having a really good game.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway.
Standings wise, Omaha at the top, whoop-de-doo, 15-5. Atlanta in second. They're coming, 14-8. You said it's the fifth set, Kel?
Yeah. They're in
Yep.
the tiebreaker.
Oh my God. Indy Ignite in third, 12-9. Nope, I'm lying to you because they did this alphabetically. It really is Orlando who's in third, also 12-9, but has 39 points. And every single week, the PVF social media posts it based on the alphabet. And I did comment and ask them, help us understand. And they responded and sent me a really long paragraph with the rules.
Give the tiebreakers.
Understand the tiebreakers, which
Oh.
lets me know that whoever's running that account has never played a sport.
Damn.
And then Indy in fourth, 12-9. Grand Rapids fifth, 9-12. Vegas at 8-12. Mojo 7-13. Columbus with their win at 6-15. So we still see a pretty serious departure between top 4 and bottom 4. However, there are still things that could happen.
Grand Rapids still looks good.
Yeah, Grand Rapids still looks like they've got a shot if other teams screw it up for themselves.
Yeah, they
Okay,
need
what-
someone to hit a bad patch.
Right. Which Orlando could be really just jumping headfirst right into.
Yeah.
I was so mad in this game, which is why I think it's pretty dangerous to buy merch, for this league.
Well, you didn't buy it. Does that help you?
It's dangerous
Does
to
that help you?
have someone buy it and then you wear it knowing
Yeah.
that it's expensive merch. I mean, the other part is we may have just identified a different kind of curse. And the
Merch curse.
curse is no, it's us
It's of the
interviewing
We
the
fans.
are
player.
curse.
Oh.
Very respectfully, Courtney had one of the worst games that she's had all year.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was rough.
She hit
We did it.
.056 with 35% positive passing.
Girl, where was your roll shot?
They ate it up. That's what happened.
Oh, and she was like, I don't understand why they don't eat it up. And
It's
then they
our
did.
fault, guys.
Yeah.
We're the curse.
Oh, I'm sorry, Courtney.
We put it on tape.
That was our bad.
Yeah.
Well, I was really mad. This first set, Orlando beat Omaha 25 to
They
14.
crushed them.
It was wild. And then Omaha switched the lineup up. They put Mac Pedraza in instead of Natalia. They put Allie Battenhorst in instead of Reagan Cooper. And that, I'm not saying like they were responsible.
Yeah.
Allie Battenhorst only hit 190.
Yeah.
I thought that Mac Pedraza, this was the best I've ever seen her set. So like I thought that she did a good job.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that like that was just what was working that day.
Did they change like what rotation they started in?
Yeah, they did.
Now that's always an interesting tactic to me, like to change 2 of your key players and change
Yeah.
how you're lined up.
Also, Brooke Nunaviller should have been player of the week
Yeah,
with these numbers.
how do you pass 80%? What was it?
Positive.
83. I mean,
83.
it's only 6
Okay.
Oh,
that's out
right. They don't serve at her.
but that's
Yeah.
why,
Yeah, that's why.
because she just passes them well.
But I don't know. Go Paige. Good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a little baffled by that.
Yeah,
Or,
me too.
actually I think would have been was getting someone from Columbus as player of the week, like Megan Lush. She passed 80% positive and she actually did get served.
Cool.
So
That's pretty legit. And I think she had match point kill.
that's fun.
Just really quick to be mad at Orlando again.
Sure. Yeah. Back. Yeah.
All due respect. I don't think Mel Shaftmaster is the setter for this team. I was talking to somebody and they were like, I feel like I've been hearing that Champu is tired, and so is Brittany Abercrombie, and they're tired. And I'm like, yeah, okay. In the second set, everything fell apart. The passing wasn't awesome, but the miscommunications were everywhere. The setting tempo was non existent. It was super high in the air, pin, throw, pin, throw, pin, throw. She also, the difference in these two setters, like how I've talked about Champu beats the ball and then like looks around.
Yeah.
Mel gets one step away and then last minute closes the final distance. So she always looks like she's about to fall over. And they are contacting the ball at very, very different points, right? Because Mel
Right.
is 6'3" and Champu is 5'7". But or no, maybe 5'9".
Well, but
Sorry if
still.
I just took her height in vain. But I just felt like she was reading the block badly and her defense was not there. And I don't know why they didn't make the full change back in the third set. Frankly, though, she just met these people 9 days ago. So
Yeah.
I don't really fault her for not having the right connections yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it didn't look it was an example, I feel, of the like energy and the performance of the set are just permeating into everybody
Yeah.
else's performance. It
Yeah.
was really, really hard to watch, just like everyone fall apart at the same time.
Ugh.
It looked like the worst they had played all year. Did you watch this match back, Ian?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it. Like they had a little blip in the third set where they started to maybe put something together again, and they just ended up losing that set close. It was a 2-point set, and
Well,
you
they
know,
did the dubs up
never fully
there.
came back. Yeah.
It,
Yeah, and
it,
that's what I don't know is like how much of that is the plan where you come in and you're just like, Champu is gonna be the dub sub setter for this match and change it up next match, but
it is interesting that she didn't change the starting setter at any point in this
Yep.
adventure.
Especially when it worked for Omaha, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
Well,
know
and
it's
that's where
different.
you
I'm just
feel
saying
like
like there's a bit that move has the capacity to really
yeah,
inject something completely
yeah.
new into a team.
yeah,
But that's where I'm feeling like I don't know if because it's getting late, right? Like, would you rather feel like, maybe you sacrifice a couple of games to just kind of like turbocharge her connection with the rest of the team so that, you're not still figuring that stuff out in the postseason if they make it there?
I mean, I don't know why you do that for Omaha. Do it for Grand Rapids.
Well, I mean, you might feel like you've got a better chance to win against Grand Rapids anyway.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
once
I
it was
mean,
getting a little better in the third set, you would think that maybe they just stick with that.
it was I do think that in the third set they went on a run with Champu in.
yeah,
With Champu came Lydia Grote, who had 5 kills and 1 error on 15 attempts, which isn't awful. Hit
yeah.
267. Obviously, Nora Sis came in and injected like a bunch of kills where they needed them, but could not get the balls to the middles
Mm,
and really just like threw it up to Brittany over and over and over again,
hmm.
which I understand the desire to do that. Like, but it's not going to work against Omaha. And am I oversensitive because I love them so much?
Maybe.
I
I just don't
don't know.
feel like I remember them playing this bad ever. Well, and like I guess give Lydia Grote a chance. But I don't know, that one made me sad. I guess I'm not a hater, I'm just sad. We can move on.
Well, and you said what they've got Grand Rapids next and then Atlanta after that.
Yep. It's a two match week for them, Thursday, Saturday.
Mm.
But both are at home. So that's helpful.
We'll see if you're upset.
We'll see.
What
I
about
don't know.
Columbus?
Columbus was
Columbus.
surprising.
Playing for
That,
respect.
Playing for respect for sure.
yeah. I mean, Megan Lush came alive.
The
I think we've been waiting for her to kind of do something.
best passing performance of the week
Yeah, and
overall.
like
Totally.
very solid hitting performance. That's what
Mhm.
I am actually really surprised she didn't get player of the week. Again, no shade to PBR. You did great, girl.
Yeah, this one, I mean, from Indy, we continued to see Ajani Taylor get a lot of balls,
Yep.
hit
And
almost 300.
handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Um,
got blocked 6 times and still hit almost 300, which
yeah. Well, and getting blocked 6 times, like they had the scout on her,
Oh
that's
yeah.
what that is. Katie
the
Baird
focal point.
hitting 208, just fine.
Yeah.
Very good. Fine and good.
A
Um,
lot of work. She had over 50, right? She had over 50 tries, I think.
oh yes, totally. You're right. Wow, that is very unbalanced. And not what we've been seeing out of Sydney Hilly lately. That unbalanced of an offense,
Mm-hmm.
which I think might have had to do with the bad passing.
Ah.
Honestly, not as
No.
bad as we've seen bad be.
Yes.
54%
Yes.
positive. I mean, those aren't mojo numbers.
Yeah.
Sorry, but not as good. Not as good out of Elena
Yeah.
Scott.
And sometimes it has to do with where the pass is coming from
Mm,
too. Like,
yep.
I mean, she is a great setter. It should matter too much, especially if it's a positive or a perfect pass. But still, I'm sure they were heavily leaning towards Ajani, and so like that's gonna leave the outside open more of the time. So
I mean, that game, as well as the last one we talked about, set up because Grand Rapids play Orlando and Indy in the next week. So if they're making the playoffs, they have a chance to beat both of the teams that are in front of them for that spot. So it's on.
That's the Midwest little showdown.
yeah,
That's
be
a lot
fun
of
fun
Eastern
matches.
time zone Midwestern vibes. I just feel
Mm.
Do
like
you
this
want to?
one got away from Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First two say you're going into the locker room, extended timeout, extended TV timeout, down 0-2. Vibes are tough.
Vibes are tough.
But
I think Carly Scott kind of had a tough time of it.
mhm.
Not ideal.
No, it's not. I mean, why did Columbus look so different?
Hmm. Well, they passed
Was it
well.
was it Megan?
Yeah, I think Megan made a huge difference.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen her play like this in a long time.
I mean, Izzy didn't pop off like she normally does.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just the right, I don't know. I don't know. It was just the right combination.
Circumstances.
Is it the Tom-Com effect?
Maybe.
Settling in.
Yeah.
For real.
She'll really settle in when we see the middle numbers. Although 20 sets to the middle, great
Yeah.
to Kaylee. But yeah, when we start seeing some more middle connections, that's when we know.
That's when we know it's truly in the full effect.
Yeah.
Okay, final match.
Final
Ugh.
match.
Yeah.
Oy.
Newbie, Holthouse. So she's out of Iowa State and she played in Puerto Rico and Germany. Yeah, she's a 23-year pro, remember?
Yes. Oh, right.
Um,
Yes.
but I thought she had just like a pretty wonderful start.
Yeah.
I mean, hit fine, hit well, 250. But I do think that's what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good get.
Yeah.
Way to go, Kathy.
Yeah. I mean, we had been saying like when Naya Shime got injured, they were doing really well with her before she got injured. Then she went away, they really were not doing well. And so now it's good to have a solid right side back in the mix
Totally. So that worked well for them.
after Nia Shime got abducted by aliens.
Correct. Vegas had like a
Also,
little,
though, yeah, how much do you take from? Was it good defense?
it was just like really close, I feel like, in at the beginnings of these games, and then Grand Rapids would just go run away with it somewhere at one point.
Look how many players were hitting negative.
Yeah, no, it was a shit show.
Vegas was close to hitting negative as a team. What do you
Yeah,
do as a coach? What do you do about that?
I mean, maybe you figure out what number jersey your new player is wearing
Ooh,
Okay, well,
damn.
what do you do
in the middle of the game when you've already made
when in
that
the middle of the
mistake.
game? It looks like you play literally everyone.
That's what they've
Yeah,
been doing.
they're
I know,
searching.
but this is like, oh God.
I'm in shock at how these players have just completely. I mean, they might be partying in Vegas too much. I'm gonna go so far
Okay.
as to
All right,
say
Sure.
Stephen A.
they might.
Although they're definitely living in the suburbs, right?
No, but I see their stories. They're out,
Sure.
which like go off, Queens. But then you're hitting negative,
Oh boy.
guys.
Oh
Guys.
boy. I don't know,
I'm
man.
honestly, I'm honestly surprised Alicia didn't attack more to just be
Yeah,
like,
fuck
fuck
yeah.
this, just I'm gonna get some kills.
Right.
Everyone's getting a shot. I don't know. That's what I was saying earlier. Like it feels like they're in last place.
And I am not
Yeah.
They are
throwing away
not.
my shot.
No, they're not even in the last place, but they're
They are
like
not.
also
Like, but it
they're
feels
good
that way.
buddies.
Yeah, it just feels like they've not played well in a while at this point.
I don't think their priorities are in order,
Oh my
Ian.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Also, though, were they not picked as a playoff team at the start? Is that what are you feeling betrayed?
Don't forget
It's the same as
about
Orlando.
don't forget that they were in first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
And
so
then
there's
the
an
weather
extra
got
like
better.
venom
No,
because
honestly,
you feel personally betrayed
listen.
by this
When
downfall.
when did the pool clubs open?
I feel like there's got to be a
February?
pool
Was it
around.
February? No, the clubs specifically. I'm
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
like
the pool clubs.
yeah, there's a precipitous fall off in performance when the pool club opened.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh man.
I've
Wow.
actually never been to one because the only time that I got tickets to go to one, I woke up that morning just ludicrously hungover.
Yeah.
I gotta say, though, pool club sounds disgusting.
No, no, you're not wrong. But
It
you do
sounds,
like a day drink, Kelly. You like to be done drinking by 4 so you can have a good night's rest.
I do love a day drink, but do we all need to soak
Mhm.
in
It's
each
just
other?
like
Yeah.
water
Rooney.
up to your shins. It's okay.
People are still peeing in that.
People are pissing all in this
Listen, if there's a
three
body of
inch deep
water
pool.
and drunk people,
Someone's being in it.
piss is happening.
Yeah.
Oh
Are we now
God.
also banning piss from the title?
Yeah, that can't be on there. I mean, I know that personally I would be, yeah, like I'd be at the buffets.
Oh, sure.
I'd be at the buffet.
I would be at the table.
I'd be
Be
at
gambling
the
and I'd be like, yeah, no, I gotta go play. It'd be like 90s basketball,
I'd be
like,
at Chris Angel.
Yeah, it'd be yeah. Like, oh God, there's a game.
But maybe go see a matinee instead of a late night one. You know, there's
Yeah.
gotta be him.
We've like run out. We've so fully run out of speculation as to what is happening to this group of athletes.
Hey, you brought it up.
I know, but I'm just saying there's nothing to say. I don't know why they're so bad.
You know, this match, I've got to say, I think the thing sometimes in volleyball, something like this happens, whether it's like the jersey number or like one bad call, and it changes the match, and then you literally cannot get out of it,
Yeah.
no matter
All
how
rolling
professional you
downhill.
are.
Yeah. And like
And
everyone is doing their worst thing. You know, like some people do not play better when they're mad. Those people are mad. Some people do not play better when they're getting yelled at by the coach or talked to by the coach a lot. Coach is talking to those people. Like
Yeah.
it's like whatever your thing is.
yeah,
Some people crash out after they miss a serve. Those people have all missed their serves. Like it's
Yeah.
whatever your downfall is, everybody's in their worst state at the same time because of that one thing that happened.
yeah.
I would be so mad about the jersey thing that I would like I could see my gameplay being the riot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say though, like for a lot of these players who don't start, aren't you kind of like waiting? You're like, oh,
Right.
am I gonna be put in? Am I gonna be able to prove myself so that I can start the next match? But maybe
Clearly
it's like
not.
they weren't ready for it so soon.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, and also, yeah, coming onto the floor into like an already bad environment.
Right.
Uh-huh. And
Alicia's
you're
pissed.
away. Yeah,
And
Alicia's mad about right, because she'll be
see,
coached next year and she'll never do a thing like that.
well, this is what I feel the lesson is
Should
like,
have let me put
especially
in the
since
roster.
especially since the number's 99, is you just always need like a marker that's the color of your jersey. Because you can pretty much make a 99 into any number. Like you could
No, you
easily whip
can't.
an
Now that's
we could shade stuff out to make a 99 look like a 14 quite easily. Color in that 99 into Adora's 14,
Ian, that is
and
some
we've
big
solved the
brain,
problem.
galaxy brain
Yeah.
thinking
I guess
Have
that
a
they
they
little
needed
needed
you,
on
team.
that
Ian.
bench.
They really needed
Be
you.
like, sir, look at the jersey now. In hindsight, quite the foreshadowing for the rest of the match.
For real.
Just that it wasn't quite all together today. But that also means that it sends Grand Rapids into the next week with like a real playoff chance.
A real chance. We'll see if they can
They need to keep winning.
do something against Orlando. Okay, should I talk about next week's matches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we record this, Atlanta's playing San Diego, and
Yeah, it's got
maybe
to be
we'll talk
over now,
about that
right?
next.
As we're recording this, Atlanta beat San Diego in five,
Wow.
15-12 in the
I can't believe it took 5, but that means that they have as many wins as Omaha now in the standings.
Mojo's new right side is pretty good.
Oh yeah, BG.
Yeah.
She seems great.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, sorry. Continue on because I
No,
want
it's
to go
okay.
to bed.
I pulled up the stats and I was like, should we live talk about this game? But it's
Nah.
way too late. Okay, so that just happened. Thursday, as mentioned, Grand Rapids at Orlando.
Big
I
game.
almost said Grand Rapids at Rise. Boy. Then a little bit later, Omaha at Vegas. I wonder how that's going to go. Saturday, Grand Rapids at Indy, aforementioned
Another big
Midwestern
game.
situation. Atlanta at Orlando will be happening at the exact same time. And then later, Omaha at Mojo. The next day on Sunday, just one game, Columbus at Vegas. That's a night game. And then
Sweet.
a little news that I just remembered. So it turns out we'll never be talking about this Atlanta Mojo game. And we won't talk about any of the games that I just mentioned either, because we're going on spring break next week.
Sorry.
So maybe you'll get a scorner from Ian,
From the pool club.
or
While he's pissing.
Yeah, piss into the pool club, doing a beer bog.
with his microphone doing the scorner. And you know, maybe that'll be called We're on Spring Break, bitch, or maybe none of that will happen. Okay, so enjoy your week without us, and we'll be back. Okay, thanks for listening to Court Captains of Volleyball podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and like and subscribe on YouTube if you like what you're hearing. Support small podcasts. And if you don't like what you're hearing, then please just go ahead and mind your business. Follow us on Instagram at CourtCaptainsPod and email us your questions or comments at courtcaptainspod@gmail.com.
And don't forget to be the captain of your own court.
And next
Yep.
week, don't forget either.
Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah, even though we're not around. Still
To
don't
remind
forget.
you, you can't forget. Peace,
Okay,
love, and
bye.
solidarity.
Bye.